How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Tiny Wars Days of Ruin replay commentary. And I am 3 for 3 here. You've probably seen her already, but this game I am playing the similar CO as the first two. I guess that's my main. That's just my main. She's honestly really good, but to make this a little better, I actually have. This is probably one of my favorite maps in the Tiny Wars map room, Stalingrad, and we are going up against a CO who has probably one of the best CO themes in Days of Ruin. So, as usual, we will introduce the COs. I am player 1, playing as Isabella. You've heard it the third time. I will obviously say it again. Isabella. CO zone radius of 2. Zone expands by 30-60 default. And all her units gain 20% offense and 20% defense. This is like Sturm level stats, but it's only limited to like the size of a missile. And you gotta keep it on a unit that you gotta want to hope stays alive. And yeah, obviously very strong CO zone, and a really amazing CO power moves her CO zone globally, so everybody gets that 20% offense and defense, but they also gain +2 movement, and indirects gain +2 attack range. This is just almost broken in a way, I would say. Like, the day-to-day is already good, and you're already going to get some value in both offense and defense. Defense is the better stat, because the more defense you have, it really negates attack. It just scales better than attack versus defense. And the 20% offense, obviously, you could get your CO zone more bigger and get closer to your super, which movement is already amazing, and +2 on your indirects really gets your opponent thinking, like, okay, I gotta make sure Isabella does not use their CO power, so I gotta move myself much further back. And even if you're much further back, then you got +2 movement units chasing you down. So yeah, Isabella, I would say my official Days of Ruin main. But we are going up against Waylon, what I consider the defensive air specialist. 50% boarding cost, that's default to everyone. Has a zone radius of 2, not terrible. 30-60 default. Default 10% offense and defense for all units. And his air units get 20% offense and 30% defense, which I think is very interesting, I would say, because typically the way I see it, air units are glass cannons, because anti-airs just wreck them completely. But getting some defense and they stand for a bit, I think that could probably be strong, especially on this map, and I'll show you why. But yeah, 20% offense, very nice firepower, and 30% defense. I guess if you have like something bulky like a bomber or a fighter, they'll have a better chance at standing. And his super CO power is hilarious. Global 10% for all units, 20% offense on the air units, and 300% defense on his air units, which is just absurdly hilarious. But think about it though, all of the anti-air how do I say this? All of the anti-air units just deal so much damage, whether it's anti-airs to any anti-air, to any air unit, obviously, missiles to any air unit, obviously, fighters, battlecopters versus another battlecopter, duster versus a battlecopter, dusters against bombers. they're gonna stand very well. They're gonna hold their ground when you try to do something. So you might as well just back off, but air units don't have terrain penalties, so they'll most likely catch you if you do so. So those are the COs. And the map here is Stalingrad, obviously very, very different in comparison to the Advanced Wars by Web Stalingrad. Here, these super plasmas act like the pipes, and these meteors kind of act like the pipe seams. But obviously it's very differently balanced because of bikes. Like I said in my last replay, bikes are hindered a lot by the sand, beaches, wastelands, and forests. So you can't just have bikes just zooming all over the map, getting as much early properties as possible. So this is just a modified Stalingrad version for Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars. Here you can see, I think this map is actually not that bad on Fog of War, because we have radars here. They give out a 5 vision range. I don't know if they could peek through hidden terrain or not. And we have these temporary airports here, and this temporary ports. What these temporary terrain is you cannot produce units on them, but you can place your units on them, and if I remember correctly, they heal and resupply all your units. So I think Waylon here is very interesting. If he could like retreat some of his damaged units and put them on the temp airport. Obviously it'll still cost him, but they're much closer than this airport, obviously, down here. And he could, I would say, you know, actually I don't know what I would say is the stronger side. I guess this would be the stronger side. This would be the weaker side because we just got one base here. This base will have to loop around to get down here. And I just noticed that there are 3. So if he has an air unit down here, he could just retreat here and get the resupply. This center one's not too bad. So I can see why my opponent picked Waylon here. So without further ado, let's begin. I gotta be prepared for this because I want to do something first. Obviously, very nice Isabella theme. I buy an infantry and a bike because this infantry can capture something turn 1. This bike can capture this base turn 1. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to stand and salute to probably the best theme in Days of Ruin. This theme is so amazing. I get hyped every time I hear it, and it's very well used in the story. You'll have to play the game yourself in order to understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, this theme is just amazing. Let me just readjust here. So he has his infantry back here, and he could go for this base, and he buys an infantry, which is strange because this infantry would not matter, but I had this income to buy both bike and infantry. What I would have done, I would have had my infantry go here and could capture both of these cities, and they can actually walk through the sand and probably support capturing here. Well, I would have a bike going out, maybe capturing this property or this property. But yeah, my turn, and I just captured the most important properties. The closest, the turn 1 that I can capture, and the base. And I build another bike up here because I could capture, I believe I could capture both of these in range. But yeah, so far doing the right things. I would have bought a bike a turn earlier. He buys a bike now, so I guess that's what he planned to do. Though we got the sand here, it's gonna hurt him. Property gets captured, move this base down, and bike moves up. Bike moves around, capture the city. Probably should have moved it here because, as I said in my last video, he moves his bike back here, which I think was a huge mistake for my opponent. I like this unit can just go on this temporary airport instead of walking back and around. He can go up. Maybe my opponent didn't realize this. They did tell me that this was their first time playing Stalingrad, so I can understand. Not obviously, I don't think they're a terrible player. They're just you know, when you play a map for the first time, your capture phase isn't going to be as perfect as when you've played it the 5th time or something. He produces infantry and a bike. Respectable builds. It is now turn 4. I have reached this property, and I was in range. I chose to. What I did was that I recognized what was closest and like what could get me more income, because airports give you income. And in 2 turns, I can have an infantry go down here and loop around to capture this airport. And then you can just come back down. Much better than a bike, obviously, because the first time I put a bike back here and tried to go around, did not work so well. This was only my 2nd time playing Stalingrad. So I move my unit out here, because I know it can cut through this wasteland and probably go for something else. And I buy bikes and I base skip. I still don't know how to perfect the Days of Ruin playstyle, because there are some units that are costed the 5,000s, infantry 1,500, mechs 2,500, bikes 2,500, and those 500s can keep adding up and probably just end up base skipping. If I had exactly 5,000, I wouldn't have enough to buy bike infantry. I could have gone all infantry, but my plan for this game was to aggressively capture. So yeah, he puts his infantry to capture this back city, and he moves his bike up to the city, seeing what I'm kind of doing and trying to cut through the middle here. Yeah, these super plasmas are really confusing if you're looking at this for the first time. And see, you can see I just loop around. I bring the bike here, and I'm just like slowly destroying this boulder because I could reinforce a little bit better. And as you can see, I'm actually skipping properties because I want to actually get the comm tower. A problem that I've been having with some of my games is that I prioritize the safer cities, but then by the time I go for something more risky, like comm towers, they're probably already there. Like, look how close he is. He probably can't interrupt my cap if I ever go for one. Oh no, he can. I'll just put my cursor in the middle here. This whole middle area is traversable, by the way, although it might not look like it. But yeah, I decide to capture the city because I don't want to miss out on too much income. But yeah, I just move around, hit this boulder, and I just like produce infantry and a tank. I get my first tank up here. He gets his radar, which is pretty alright. He's got an APC down here, and he's moving his infantry out. He buys a transport copter. Not terrible, I would say. Although, you gotta know how to use it. And here, I already have a tank. Turn 7. Let's go ahead and take a look at the... Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and take a look at the buildings. He has 3 more than me, because obviously I skipped a couple cities to get closer to the comm towers. And he has more units than me as well. So, initially, at the start, probably not doing the best. But I capture 1, 2. I board my CO. 3 cities. I begin to capture. And my 4th city down here, obviously. These missiles, we can't reach the missiles. And I'm moving aggressively towards these comm towers. Because, I want to get a footing somewhere in the middle. And as you can see, I build my CO in a tank. And as of right now, I think tanks are the best. A little mistake here. Boarded his weighted helicopter. Transport copter. Probably could have put it a bit further, then move the infantry up, and then next turn load infantry, drop it somewhere else. Built another transport copter. No tank yet. Interesting. But yeah, back to my tank. I think tanks are probably the best unit to put your CO in because they're cheap, they're mobile, and I'm doing like a hard defend for this comm tower. And if he wants to try, I got buffed up units coming along the way. Because like, look at this mobility. The mobility is amazing. As I've said about tanks, they are cheap, they are mobile, and if they are damaged, you can actually just join other tanks and just keep them healthy, so you can keep all your CO points to use your eventual CO power. And as we've discussed earlier, Isabella's CO power is amazing. Moving my units down, going more aggressive with these cities. And I think this was, yeah, I said earlier, this was probably my stronger side, the top side, near my HQ. So I put a CO unit, so I put my CO unit here on my stronger side, because that's where you want to be getting the kills rather than defending. Probably I would put Brenner on my weaker side, but only time will tell. I produce a tank for my weaker side, and more bikes. The CO theme's amazing, and he foregoes. I don't think he could have interrupted this cap, so this comm tower and this comm tower down here, if you were paying attention, I am about to get a full 10% offense and defense because of these two comm towers. And he is going very aggressive with these cities on the edge. So may probably expect a punish. Now he builds a battlecopter and a tank. All right, it's turn 9. I feel like he could have built them much sooner. But not everyone is an expert. Trust me. First time I played Stalingrad, I did absolutely horrible. Then I'm just capturing my cities, and look at this. It's just a Isabella tank on a bike on a city with 2 defense. Just gets dropped to 1. Man. Oh, with these comm towers too. So yeah, this was obviously an amazing, 2 amazing attacks for me. I have a slightly dented tank, still at 100 HP. I guess because with 30 defense, a bike can't really do much to a tank, and not a perfect but a healthy bike that did more than half of this bike's health damage. Excuse me. So I buy these radars. They act like cities. They can repair, they can scout out, but unnecessary in standard because no fog. Although I do think this was originally a fog map. If this was a fog map, then capturing this was pretty nice. But yeah, they behave like a regular city. Alright, turn 9 for my opponent. Goes for a city up here and puts a rig in the way. These rigs, the way I see people use rigs are funny. They're bulky and they can just get in the way of units. Boards a CO unit in a copter, which is interesting, obviously, because well, obviously he's going to keep the defense on this copter. That CO zone is not going anywhere away from this battlecopter. He will keep that defense and probably stand a hit against an artillery. Thing is, though, you really don't want battlecopters grouped up so much because they don't stand a chance against 1 anti-air. 2 battlecopters close to each other do not stand a chance against an anti-air, even if they both got the first strike. But yeah, he's moving it up, and I just built my anti-air. He suicides. I think I built my anti-air after he bought his bike. So yeah, he's now getting his own tanks out. He's capturing these center cities. He's getting 2 of these center properties. Better than I am. So kudos to my opponent for being able to get 2 properties before me. I will, however, get this property though. I interrupt his capture. He moved his 1 HP bike all the way up here, which did pull my bike back. So, admittedly, he did make me peel back, although I probably could have waited 19 more turns. Launch an attack on this boulder. That's just funny to say. Got a tank to reinforce, and I build my own battlecopter. Tank to reinforce his bottom side, and I start capturing my own properties. And I'm moving this in because I want to get something going. Captures a building, drops his unit in the center. It's a temporary airport and he's an air specialist, so I can kind of see why he'd go for this. Here he interrupts my cap. Can't reach to kill it though. Puts his infantry here. Transport blocks the way, obviously. Has his tank and battlecopter close by. Builds another battlecopter and a tank. So I would say this is not that bad. Doing pretty alright with this battlecopter because I have nothing that could damage it and probably would leave a good chunk of my HP off my CO unit. And I just don't want to start joining tanks together so early. I will get funds, but I'll have 1 less tank. Currently turn 11, and I have 2 more properties, and we are almost even on units. We are even on units except for value. I will get like 3 more properties, 1 at the bottom and 2 more on the top from what it looks like. Yeah, middle 1, top left 1. I don't complete this one. I move this in just to get some points, and that CO zone is just amazing. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover, because I completely interrupt his cap, and I attack here because I have the advantage. Just 20% on a CO zone like this. So this is the default. I'm convinced Isabella's broken. And I will keep playing her if it's gonna get me wins. I'm sorry. But I do have fun sometimes. You'll see a different CO unit, a CO, in a future replay. Move my bike down. Anti-air moves down, obviously. Tank moves down. I have my anti-air here. Ooh, I have another battlecopter, the tank, and another anti-air. I'm pretty sure I bring this anti-air down here. Anti-airs? They're good for making someone not move their battlecopter close. It's like an artillery or an indirect. It's pointing at a spot you don't want your opponents to stop on. And these anti-airs just zone out spots where you don't want your opponents to get hit by battlecopters. Now here he's got 3 foot soldiers moving dangerously close to the to my comm tower, and I think I failed to realize this. Produces a lot more tanks. He moved a unit. I think he moved battlecopter up by 1. I heard 1 move, and that sounded like it was it. So I captured 1 building. Yeah, I probably captured this building. Oh, no, sorry, that's the replay meter. I am now 6 funds ahead. So at the start of this turn I was 5. And I'm pulling this back because obviously I have nothing that can really contest a battlecopter currently. I leave this tank here and like forms like a bike wall that can protect my anti-air in case something goes bad. I think I moved it back here just to protect from this battlecopter, but I think I moved it back way too far. Actually, no, that was perfect. So I'm moving all my units in. Got battlecopter, 2 tanks to reinforce bottom side. Bike on a city, come get me. And I get 2 medium tanks. Whew, I would say that is, I'm sorry. I would say that was kind of ambitious of me. Well, I already had the lead, and I just thought I'd push it. Yeah, I have 4 more units than my opponent. But yeah, I guess you can kind of see how my aggressive capturing is starting to pay off. Although I can't really do a whole lot to interrupt this capture. Initially having it and just snowballing control into my hands. Oh, he moves his tank in here with no reinforcing tanks. I don't know how to explain that, but you definitely want, if you're going to attack, you definitely want another tank to be close by. Yeah, in standard, everything's more calculatable, I would say, because everything's in sight. Capture the city, top city finally. Interrupt this cap, and try to take out this bike. Try to take out this infantry, because if he tries to join cap, he'll have a harder time trying to get this completed. I move this in, obviously, because I have an anti-air that can move in to protect 2 anti-airs, actually. Get the first strike on this tank. It'll have a hard time retreating, because it'll have to loop around. Got the battlecopter in range in case his battlecopter wants to go in. I think I make a huge mistake here. I could have moved in my tank and gotten more points, obviously. Definitely increase my CO zone by 1. So it could just be like a tile back. And I buy a rocket. And recons. I think the reason for my builds here, he keeps buying battlecopters. He has like 3 right now. And he has like transports. So I just thought an anti-air wouldn't hurt. And a rocket. I can see that I'm forming a line here, almost like a defensive line. And anything to assist and like cause a bigger problem to not make them engage. Obviously this rocket here. And it synergizes with Isabella's CO power. Moves the tank in. Tries to join cap. Doesn't get it. Copter destroys this tank. Do I have anything in range? I don't think I have anything in range. But this battlecopter is yeah, everything's moving in, and yeah, you can see I'm slowly losing the center here. Good chance I'm losing this comm tower. It's got battlecopters coming up. Got an anti-air back here to try and reinforce. Almost suicides his tank. He builds his own anti-air, which I think is pretty good because I have battlecopters out. Move my units down. Turn 14. I have 6 more income than my opponent, with 4 more units. I join to make it full HP, and I capture just to be a nuisance. I get this tank out, and I'm trying to, can't tell. Sorry, I paused because I can't tell. Is this? I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so my battlecopter got the CO buff, which is pretty amazing. I think I'm setting up for an anti-air strike. No, I'm not setting it up. Oh wow, I was just being ballsy with it. I was like, yeah, hit my tank. I got something to cover it. Hit me with your tank. Hit me with your battlecopter. It's a slow 3 points to capture that. I move this tank in. I'm just like, yeah, hit me. Hit me with your best shot. I got reinforcements to cover me. I think I move this left. Could be wrong. Oh, and I build an anti-tank and a duster. Anti-tanks, you've seen them before, but they are like artillery that can attack at 1 range, and I think can counterattack against a lot of things. Yeah, they can even attack air units. Not the very high ones, but copters, yeah, they can attack copters. And, yeah, they can hit a lot of things. Oh, wow, that's so zoomed in. I just want to see the base damage chart, yeah. That's very zoomed in. Hi! There we go. And Dusters are air units, 13,000 I believe, and they can attack any air units. So if your opponent has a bomber, they can attack the bomber, and the bomber cannot counterattack. And that's a lot of value, because 7,000 income cheaper. And as for the battlecopters, they do a lot of damage. I think if we look at the damage chart again. Oh, I could have done this. As for battlecopters, they do 55. No, I'm sorry, 75 to battlecopters. Which make them really good anti-air air units. Although they don't one-shot. Because they don't use flak or Vulcan to kill. He retreats his battlecopter to try and reinforce his weaker side. He already has enough forces on the bottom. But yeah, he got this comm tower from me. $27,250. Yeah, he got this comm tower back, so you can obviously see he's establishing more dominance on the top. However, I did take out this transport copter, and it made my anti-air move in to attack and kill his copter. Even though this tank can't really come in and kill that tank, but that specific attack was value. Anti-airs are 7,000 compared to the 9,000 income of the battlecopters. So I just saved 2,000 income to one-shot his battlecopter. And once that's out of the way, this has almost served its purpose, so I wouldn't mind getting hit by a tank. But it's also one less battlecopter my opponent has. Tank moves in. I capture a building. I capture this one. I have 3 of the center properties now. So I have control of the center, which is nice to reinforce either the top or the bottom. And I have 2 bases that can loop around the top side much better. He has no air defense here. Although that rig is being really annoying. I would have liked to hit that tank. And I'm just capturing in his face. Protecting my tower for some reason. Because I want him to use up units. Like that 1 HP unit he had on the top left here. He made me use a bike to remove it. I want him to use something else. To focus less on my stronger grouped up force. And try to interrupt this 3-day capture. Probably could give it a day, but I have other bikes close by. He has 2 cities to worry about, so that's a lot for my opponent to think about. Recon moves in, hopefully take out some infantry. I build another Duster and I build another anti-tank. And a bike. Anti-tanks, they're indirect, so again, Isabella synergy. Moves in, one-shots the bike. Tank takes that out. His tank takes it out. He's doing not too bad. And see, his tank is going to hit this, but I'm not too worried. A weakened anti-air can do some work. And here he's got defenses around his CO unit here. So, yeah, it's like protect the president in the center here. Just 3 points off before he can expand his CO zone. Me, I am 14 points ahead, I think. Yeah, and I just pull this back because attacking from city obviously is very nice. I get rid of this comm tower. And I want to capture it, but this forest really hurts these bikes. I'm just like slowly moving my units in. And I'm just getting like really good strikes with this battlecopter here. CO unit moves up. It's in range. It was in range of this bike. And this tank. So yeah, I'm just kind of moving in saying, hey, you know, I got forces. This tank, these. Oh, sorry. It'll be kind of hard to take out this tank, and if he does, I have 2 anti-airs in the way, as well as a battlecopter. So anything that tries to loop around and kill will die, and this was a risk I was willing to take. I just said this was a risk I'm willing to tank, a risk I'm willing to take. Although I do have good points. I have 51, 9 points away from my super. And I also tech up. If this dies, I could just put it in a medium tank. Sure, the boarding costs more. It has less move than a tank. It's not invincible, as you saw from one of my replays. But, it is a nice tech up for a more durable CO unit. So yeah, he just one-shots my copter, because, you know, Waylon Air Specialist. Tank moves in, protects his tower. And he's like kind of falling back, because he does not want to deal with this. I don't remember if I get it this turn or not. We got a big skirmish happening in the bottom here. Anti-air moves up. Both of them move up to interrupt these captures. My battlecopter is safe from them. This one might move up here on the bottom. But yeah, he's right now in a more defensive stance. Okay, this anti-air is posing a problem. A bit. Now, I actually do not remember when I get my CO zone. But yeah, I got this big tank in, and I'm just like, yeah, come in. Use your battlecopter, I got my duster. It's like, I think one thing to point out when you're learning how to play Advanced Wars is just unit matchups. I thought I heard something, but unit matchups. It's like Duster does well against battlecopters. Anti-air does well against battlecopters. Anti-air does well against Dusters. Tanks do well against anti-airs. Yeah, it's like, if you know what the matchups for the units are like, and you can recognize the CO strengths and weaknesses, that is a good step in the right direction in learning how to play Advanced Wars. But yeah, like I said, I learned matchups. I know if he goes for air units to kill my tank, I have anti-airs. I have this tank that could take out the anti-air. This tank take out his tank. Duster take out his battlecopter. Battlecopter can get a hit on the tank, but anti-air can take out battlecopter. Yeah, it's like you just learned the matchups, learn the strengths and weaknesses of the COs, and you will have a good chance in Advanced Wars. So yeah, I hit this bike, and I start capturing this city with 1 HP. Move my tank in, because if he goes in here, it's just going to enter a death ball. Bye-bye, infantry. I move my tank up, and it's actually just enough to go in, boost my tank, my second tank, and come in and kill. Anti-air kills that, obviously, although not really valuable. It's something. Duster and anti-air comes in to challenge his copters. And I'm just moving my units up. I built a bomber. And yeah, I hit this boulder so much, so I had like almost half HP now. I know it's the start of player 2's turn, but I just want to see the results right now. It was bad. It was like 8 plus 8 income every day compared to my opponent. So I am getting huge advantages every day. Anti-air is gonna die here, but I'm not too worried about that. He's backing away because if he tries to stick around, I have a good chance to pop something incredible. And he's just like, you know, backing up, putting himself in a more defensive formation, putting everything in cities. Excuse me. Builds anti-air, battlecopter, tank. I think this is the turn. I'm at 60. Turn 18. Move this up. I think I don't pop it yet, because if I pop it later, I already made huge mistakes, because these could have moved up 2 more spaces. Bomber finally takes out this boulder. I still loop around in the back though. I guess it was just because of the wasteland. But I can at least now go here, removing that boulder. Yeah, I am pulling back. Yeah, this is in range to kill. And I have my Protect the President mode, as well as getting my comm tower back. And he can try to interrupt this. Oh, Duster kills, that's amazing. Yeah, he can try to get something going, but another 1 HP capture. And I move this back. Temporary airport should repair. And I'm doing this weird... oh yeah, I wasn't going to capture that because I put my bike there. So now I'm putting him under pressure. Funny now that I think about it. The +2 defense probably wouldn't have been that bad. Although... yeah, never mind. Because this bike would have been completely bodied. And I finally get a fighter. To finally get something decent against his all his copters, instead of just anti-airs that are weaker to tanks, and battlecopters weaker to the anti-airs. Matchup bliss, guys. Yeah, he moves in, he's interrupting that cap. Gets a good hit on most of my units. Kills my recon, actually. Duster is kind of in danger. I probably might have overextended on this bottom side. This wasn't a perfect game for me. I 100% made my own mistakes. But, yeah, you see what he's doing here. Moving his units here, buys a tank, buys a battlecopter, and buys a rig. Don't know why he bought a rig. But, you remember who I am? You remember who I am, guys? Excuse me. I capture a building. Capture a building. Full complete capture. Do 1 HP cap. I move it in. Duster moves so far in. The second one comes in. Kills his CO unit. Doesn't end the game though, but I'm just moving in and I'm hitting hard and I'm hitting fast. I am moving so far right now. This was an amazing super. I killed his CO. I killed more units. I have much more mobility right now. Recon can move in. Bikes care a little less about the terrain. And I'm just like, yeah, let's move all this in and do something. Let's capture his city as well. Let's move this tank in. Defend. I just changed my posture because this music is hype and Isabella's super is amazing. So of course, I'm a lot more excited for this. And I'm just like moving everything up, and I'm kind of doing like this little, this little pincer attack. I think that's what they call it, pincer. It's like when you're like pinching in on him. And as you can see, I have a big unit here, big force here, a big force here, more coming on the way, and I have bikes that can just, capture the properties that I leave behind. Produce an infantry. I think I just went for it and just tried to capture this HQ. Waylon's theme's still good though. Anti-air probably would have done like 80 damage. Let's see how they do against Dusters. 75. Actually, yeah, 75. So they would have done like close to 80, leaving Dusters at 2 HP. Yeah, good hit on the battlecopters, obviously, but just remember who I am. Wait, I already used my CO power. It doesn't matter. It's gonna go away anyways. I just have rockets to protect any ground units. A missile actually wouldn't have been terrible now that I'm looking at it. He rebuilds a CO on another copter, and my CO zone is refreshed back to its default. Capture this city, slowly capturing that, so I could capture this one much sooner. Almost captures building down here. Captures HQ, or at least try to. Only leave that 1 HP. tank can do well against that copter. Battlecopter moves in. Fighter moves in. At this point, you can already tell I won the game. Anti-air to protect in case any, I'm sorry, anti-tank in case any anti-airs attack here. And I'm just like, kind of, moving my units much closer. Because, if your groups of units are far apart, they're harder to reinforce each other with. Duster moves in, and it can finally go this way, because I cleared out that boulder. Oh, he already cleared out his boulder too, I didn't notice that. And I built a war tank. 16,000, but slow as hell. Gonna get a lot of good first strikes. Fighter, yeah, wasn't gonna stand, but rocket can kill that, or damage that. Anti-tank can obviously damage these. And he's just ignoring my unit here. I guess he believes he just has a lot of time on his hands. Or he just probably already admitted defeat. Yeah, I think that's what happened here. He already admitted defeat, but he was just kind enough to allow this game to move on. Yeah, just move in. Just one-shot it. I'm just like, hell yeah, I got everything in this CO zone now. Let's start rebuilding my powers. Bomber one-shots that tank. Because I have 2 comm towers, does not matter. Fighter moves in, does 2 damage to his CO's unit. Yeah, 2 comm towers. Isabella. Waylon, vanilla Waylon has no weaknesses. So everything you just see is just strength from my side. And I just, you know, loop around my one tank. Duster comes in. Yeah, I think we could just really just sit here and just watch the show. Yeah, actually this fighter's getting a bit more value because nothing can attack my fighter. What is this, turn 21? He's at 9 units to my 32. 14 income behind mine. Yeah, we know. We all know at this point. So, as we're wrapping things up, anything I could say about this game? I definitely had a small advantage in experiencing this map before. But I also have made attempts to aggressively capture this comm tower. Because as you saw, I got 2, and then I lost this one, but then I just but then I got it back because yeah, I was a bit more aggressive. I had units reinforcing both of my sides. It had no ammo. I think that's what happened. And yeah, I'm just protect the president. It was bad at this point. I think it has 2 capture points left. Yeah, I think we're about to near the end here. I built missiles way too late. Yeah, this was just, hey, I can buy missiles now. So I just have like and a fighter. Anti-tank, because why not? Yeah, I was owning. Yeah, he's just moving around. What little units he had. And I think my opponent said that he was going ahead, letting it all end. And I was like, you know what? Let's just see how much I can do before I finish this game. Bomber, boom. Fighter does that. I think my Duster can kill his CO unit a second time. Yeah, I forgot it had no ammo. Yeah, I'm just flexing at this point. kind of mean, but yeah, I finally capture, and all his forces got destroyed. I saw that I was unable to do anything else. And yeah, I would say a very, very dominant game from me. I played aggressively, and I made less mistakes that... Oh, sorry. I made less mistakes that didn't just snowball out of the way like that. But yeah, I played them again. Not a bad player. Not a bad player. It's just that I just needed one game of Stalingrad to know what I was doing, to know what to expect, and I planned very much ahead, and it got me the win. Had a huge income lead, and it just snowballs out of the way. Isabella's also really good. Waylon, I don't think he's a terrible CO. Put in the copter, why not? It has defense. It's gonna stay and last a bit longer. But yeah, this has been Isabella versus Waylon on Stalingrad, standard mode. Expect more replays to come out. Expect Advanced Wars by Web content to come out because we gotta hype ourselves up for the reboot. If Days of Ruin had a reboot, I honestly would be happy. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's almost been an hour long. Holy crap, I just noticed that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Advanced Warrior. You all have my warmest regards. Please, take care, and Happy New Year.